Hello everybody, I am the Linkzilla. Now, it's been a while since I've last been able to address the entire channel, so I thought I'd give you guys a bit of an update. If you guys had basically checked out my channel, you guys would know that basically I have recently gotten myself a new headset, so now I can finally get back to making videos, and for those of you who have noticed that some of my video churnouts have been lackluster lately, ultimately that stems from a combination of basically a bit of depression and a bit of overwhelming exhaustion due to basically the stresses of the semester. Basically, I just don't really find that I have the time or the energy to keep up with my YouTube channel as of late, and that doesn't seem like it's actually going to change anytime soon. But anyways, I thought that now that I had a new headset, I would finally give you guys an update. So, first and foremost, you guys should congratulate me because I just became an uncle. Yep, my sister gave birth to her first child, and my niece has finally been born, and I'm still freaking out over the prospect that my sister has had a baby, and I am somebody's uncle. I mean, that just basically seemed so weird, especially considering the fact that throughout most of our lives, I've heard my sister not exactly speak highly of children, and she's expressed her desires of never wanting to have children, so it's a bit of a shock when she tells me one day that she's pregnant, that she and her husband are going to have a baby, and I'm like thinking, what? Anyways, I'm still just kind of basically still trying to find level ground on this because it's such an exciting thing, and I don't know how to fully quantify it. I don't even know how to fully quantify my own feelings based on it because it's just not something that I ever thought was going to happen. But anyways, now to basically talk about the stuff that you guys probably care about. And this update is actually probably going to be for basically my fans, my watchers over on DeviantArt, and if you're currently not watching my DeviantArt page and have any kind of interest in Godzilla, I recommend that you basically do that immediately. Just head on over to my DeviantArt page, you can find the link to it on my channel home. And, well, basically, this is an update that has to do with the tradition that I've been observing on DeviantArt for several years now. Basically speaking, it's a little known fact that the original 1954 Gojira was released on November 3rd in Japan back in 1954, so I've always used that as a commemorative date to celebrate Godzilla's birthday. I know that basically the Japanese said his official birthday is actually in April, but I always recognize November 3rd as being Godzilla's birthday. And not only is that the start of his birthday, it's actually the start of a month-long celebration in which I find tiny little ways to celebrate Godzilla. Now, ultimately speaking, I started this tradition, I'd say, basically back in 2009, and the first time that I did it on DeviantArt, I basically went every single day of the month trying to submit a Godzilla-related artwork to the website, and that basically continued for the next 2 years or so, and in 2010 was probably my most successful Godzilla month, as I basically was able to fill up the month creating artistic posters of every single Godzilla movie. And I drew a lot of inspiration from the official artwork of the Godzilla series, just reinterpreted them as sprite-based, and it was very fun. It was a very fun and tumultuous time, and for those of you who have been keeping track of the timeline that I just said, that would mean that Godzilla Month 2019 is the 10th anniversary of my Godzilla Month tradition. Now, I haven't been able to keep up with doing Godzilla Month over the years because, well, November is a very bad time of the year for me, and I'll get to that later on, but basically speaking, after 2011, I started downscaling, how I would do Godzilla Month. I would basically only be able to submit a few deviations, every other week or so, a few sprites here or there, until basically there were a few years where I just couldn't basically do anything for the months at all. I've tried to basically do them, and even off DeviantArt, I've still celebrated Godzilla Month in my own way with month-long viewings of Godzilla movies, like exploring other forms of Godzilla-related media. Now, because this is the 10th anniversary of Godzilla Month, I wanted to get back into doing Godzilla Month, and for those of you who basically, have seen my Godzilla Day teaser that I did back in August basically teased the idea of my fully updated legendary Godzilla sprite because, well, let's face it, as far as the previous sprite goes, I think that I had an idea of what to do with that sprite, but it didn't work out the way I wanted it to, and it basically feels like a completely rushed job now that I look back on it. So this update will be a much welcome update, and I'll be glad to have finally done it. And, well, it's going to be an update of the legendary Godzilla sprite. What the entire month is going to be, however, is basically going to harken back to the Godzilla month of 2010. I figured that since it's going to be the 10th anniversary of Godzilla month, I might as well emulate the most successful year that Godzilla month ever had. And I'll basically be using all of my updated sprites for each and every monster that has come over the years. I'll basically be doing deviations based on not necessarily all of them, but what I believe to be the Godzilla movies of the most merit and deserve the most recognition over the last few years, which will include some of the more newer and recent entries, and there will be a chance for me to show off some sprites that I never got a chance to get around to submitting, especially if one certain sprite from 2016 is to be regarded. So, anyways, now that's basically what my plan for Godzilla Month 2019 will be, and it also ties together well because a lot of people were wondering why I hadn't done anything last year to celebrate my 10th anniversary on DeviantArt. The truth of the matter is that I actually joined DeviantArt just so I could favorite some of the art pieces that I found online on the website, so I basically didn't do anything with my DeviantArt page until about a year afterwards, so I really consider 2019 to be the year that I started actually using my DA page, and thus started contributing as an artist. Before I was just a collector, after that, I was an actual contributor. So this will also sort of be the 10th anniversary of my DeviantArt page as well, and it seems like fitting to make such a big celebration around Godzilla Month since I'm pretty sure that's what most of my watchers are even watching me for anyway. Now, here comes the bad news. Basically, every single year, because November is such a bad time for me, I've tried to prepare Godzilla Month in advance so that I can basically have them all prepared and released as November unfolds. However, that has very rarely worked out for me in the past. I basically began working on trying to basically amass the resources for this Godzilla Month project as far back as May. And that was basically the earliest that I could start on this, because that was the beginning of my summer after I was done with the spring semester. I had, a lot of time on my hands to finally start amassing the resources, and it still wasn't enough to actually do it. It wasn't even enough to even finish the legendary Godzilla sprite. So, the thing about it is that, at present, I'm currently in the fall semester, and this, if it works out, this is going to be my final semester. So, fall semester, the final semester, as you can imagine, everything is stressful, everything is currently in crunch time, nothing seems to be going exactly according to plan. And it just seems to me like Godzilla Month is one of those things that I have to put on the back burner until I can get out from under all these ridiculous writing assignments and research projects that I have to do. And unfortunately, November is the time where we all have to start preparing to write our final papers, and this final semester isn't going to mess around. These final papers are going to be over 10 pages long. I've got 4 classes where I have to write these papers, and Basically, it looks like these papers are going to be anywhere from 12 to 15 to 20 pages long, and that's going to consume all of my time. So, I'm sorry to tell you guys this, but Godzilla Month 2019 is not going to be as you expected it to be. However, I'm still going to be able to celebrate it in my own way. So you see, basically, what I plan to do is you guys who have seen my DeviantArt page for a while have basically known this. Whenever I basically want to do an art project, an extended art project that isn't quite ready by the time that I've finished it, I will submit a kind of teaser for it. And this teaser actually acts as a placeholder, because what's more important to me is actually observing the date of the Godzilla month in question, because I would be able to go back and submit these art pieces at any time, but I would feel wrong about doing that after Godzilla month has passed. So what I will be doing instead is that I will be submitting placeholders in place of every single day of Godzilla month, and then once the month is over, once the semester is over, and once I've settled into probably a new apartment and a new job, and I have some time on my hands to work on Godzilla month, then I will go back and resubmit every single piece of artwork in Godzilla month 2019, and that's basically when you guys will finally be able to see it. So, sorry to basically, let you guys know that that's pretty much the only option that I have at the time, but what can I say? Life sucks, college sucks, having a job sucks. Basically, every single thing that you could imagine that will go wrong, and sometimes you just gotta put your own personal wants and desires aside in order to basically, do what's important for you in the long run. So, anyways, I really hope that you guys can still enjoy Godzilla Month when it comes, because I'm going to be putting a lot of effort into these particular sprite images, and basically trying to, show off all the newer Godzilla sprites that I've been doing over the past few years, actually. In secret, because I haven't had the chance to actually been able to showcase them off on DeviantArt, and it'll be fun reinterpreting some of my old deviations with newer and up-to-date kind of styled graphics, you know what I'm saying? People often go back and redo some of their own works with their newfound talents. That's going to be good. Now, basically, an update for my YouTube channel. I mean, for those of you on DeviantArt who are watching me, I really would appreciate it if you guys went over and subscribed to me on YouTube, but you don't have to if you don't want to. I just would feel like if I had more of a Godzilla fan base over on my channel, I would basically be more inclined to make more Godzilla-related topics. So, what's going on is that, in similar fashion to how the semester, and especially with the upcoming November, is going to be such a bad time for me, I haven't really had the time or the motivation to actually buckle down and focus on doing Let's Plays for any kind of games. I mean, October is almost over, and I wanted to play a plethora of scary games that were meant to basically kind of highlight me, that were basically kind of like to celebrate the month of October all the way up to Halloween, but at present, it doesn't really look like that's going to happen. That doesn't really look like that's going to happen, because it seems like every single bit of time that I have outside of class, I don't have any motivation to actually start a brand new video game and just sit down and play it, because it's like, I don't know, my mental state is currently just not in the right time frame right now. I have set up my PS4 with my larger machine, so at any moment I could basically start playing God of War 2018, and there's a very likely chance that that might still be coming in the future, because, basically speaking, it's been more than a year since God of War 2018 came out, and I still want to finish off the year of God of War. I'm just a little bit intimidated by the length of the game, because I can guarantee this God of War game will probably be the longest out of all of them. I'm guessing that it probably has, more than, friggin' 180 hours of game time. Especially with all the little side quests and RPG elements that I'm just not all that well versed in. So anyway, in regards to upcoming projects, as you guys probably noticed, my Birth by Sleep playthrough, the final few episodes, they were crap. And basically, I did the episodes with Kay, the Dark Fairies 15, and I was stupid. I stupidly forgot to do a mic check at the beginning of each video, and her voice just did not come in at all. So basically, I decided to take those videos down, and this will culminate in a complete replay of all of Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep on expert mode or critical mode, whatever they call it. I basically want to do the entire Birth by Sleep game again because I actually think that out of all the Kingdom Hearts games, Birth by Sleep might oddly be one of my favorites. I mean, there are some things about the game that I don't like, but I feel like it's one of the games that's like the most easily accessible to anyone who wants to pick up and play it. So I'll be trying to pursue that in the upcoming weeks, and thank you guys so much for the support on my Minecraft videos. I really do appreciate the fact that there are people out there who enjoy watching me play in my Minecraft world, especially Kai Jerica. For those of you who are still holding out for the Jurassic Park project, well, I've got a little bit of bad news coming your way. I do have a lot of ideas that I want to do for Jurassic Park. However, every single time I open up that world and basically have to go about the task of putting in the fences, it just seems like an overwhelmingly exhausting task because I really don't feel like I'm going to get much out of it. I don't feel like putting up these fences over on this enormous island is really worth all the effort, and I don't want to basically quit on it because I've already done so much. I mean, basically, I've been at this project for about 3 years, and I've done a lot of work towards it, but part of me wishes that I had just decided to go with the smaller world, because I basically figured out a little bit too late that the scaling on the full-size island, it doesn't exactly scale to Steve. Steve is basically the island is actually twice as big as it should be when it comes to Steve, and the smaller island is actually half the size that it should be. So it's either I'm working with a quarter-sized island or an island that's 4 times too small. If only basically there was an island that was half the size, that would actually be more manageable, and I could see myself putting more effort into it. But at present, I just don't really feel all that much motivation to keep going with the Jurassic Park project, because it really does feel like a thankless job in a lot of ways. And I do have a lot of ideas on what I want to do with the visitor center. It's just I don't really see myself getting around to playing in that, so Jurassic Park is once again put on hold for the time being, and it's going to have to stay that way for a long time. Now, in regards to Doom, as you guys could basically see, back from May at the start of summer, I had started playing the Doom games, starting with the Ultimate Doom during the original 4 chapters. Then I did Doom 2 Hell on Earth, which kind of petered out halfway through summer because we started playing the Summer of Kingdoms event. And then basically that finished up a few weeks ago. My intention was that I would play through all the Doom games that I currently have in my collection, all the way leading up to Doom Eternal. But then, once the semester started and knowledge that Doom Eternal was actually coming in November instead of back in the summer, I basically realized that there really wasn't enough time for me to go through every single game that I currently had in my collection, because I would have to do the final Doom, Doom 64, Doom 3, Resurrection of Evil, and Doom 2016, and without the proper technology, I wouldn't even be able to do Doom 3 and 2016 correctly, so those videos would come out looking horrible. However, it seems like the universe, it doesn't exactly sync up, but it does open up windows, opportunities for you, as this is no surprise, but Doom Eternal has been delayed until March of next year. So basically, that gives me the next 6 to 5 months to basically complete all the other Doom games I have at my disposal, so that gives me more than enough time. I was basically planning to like cut it down to maybe just doing Doom 3 and Doom 2016, but now I basically have no excuse except to do the rest of the Doom games, which is good because I've collected up the materials that I need, the equipment. I bought a second monitor for my big TV, so now I'll be able to edit the videos properly, and I bought a brand new headset, so I want to basically make sure that I spent money on these things for a good cause, for a reason. So, anyways, we'll expect more playthroughs on upcoming Doom games in the coming future, or at least whenever I get around to having time to do it. So, now let's see. There's more stuff that I wanted to talk about, more stuff that I wanted to do. I think that over the next few days, I'll go through my channel and give, like, my Kingdom Hearts playthrough videos proper names. Here's a bit of an update on, like, what's going to happen with the final episode of my Kingdom Hearts 2 playthrough. Friggin' YouTube has given me a copyright strike on the final episode because of my sanctuary, and I can't submit the video. It's been completely blocked all over the world, so I have no idea what I'm going to do about that. I have no idea how I'm going to fix it, and honestly, it just makes me too tired to even think about. So, I hope that you guys who have been watching those videos can at least be patient with how it's going to come about. And here's the big thing. Some of you have most likely noticed that my Ocarina of Time playthrough has completely stopped after I caught the Hylian Loach after beating the Water Temple. Now, wait, did I catch the Loach before the Water Temple? Oh, who cares? Now, the thing about that is that, surprisingly, I actually have a number of people in my watch list who have never played Ocarina of Time. They've never experienced it before in their lifetime, so they have no idea how Ocarina of Time actually goes, and some of them are actually interested in the Ocarina of Time 20th anniversary celebratory dramatization that I started last November. And it's been almost a year since I started that, and it's still not done, but I am on the final episode. So my intention was that after I finished episode 11, or episode 10, the Spiritual Awakening, I would basically stop the playthrough and then wait for me to finish out the finale of the dramatization with the final confrontation with Ganondorf and whatnot. Basically, in order to pretty much like give like my own take on how the story should have ended before showing how the actual game ends, in order to basically like give the audiences that have been waiting for those particular videos to be submitted, in order to basically show them what's going to happen. But it seems like every single time I open up the Word file to write the script for episode 11, I can't think of anything, because college is so exhausting, people. It is one of the most exhausting things you'll ever do with your life, and you barely get any reward out of it. I honestly came to grips with the fact that what I'm going to college for has not helped me in the slightest with any sort of career that I want to pursue. It hasn't given me any good tips. It hasn't told me where I should go, who I should talk to, how to get my foot in the doors for anything that I've wanted to do. It hasn't given me any kind of skill that I would actually consider a skill. So, if you guys have the option to not do college and instead go to work, go to work. Believe me, like, working to make money is far better than spending money to learn nothing. So, anyways, over the next few weeks, I am going to try to get Ocarina of Time Episode 10 fully ready and uploaded, because I want to basically have that done either before November starts or before November ends. Isn't that just ironic? Godzilla month and Ocarina of Time's birthday, they end up on the exact same month. So, and in fact, I actually think that, depending on like my schedule of when I started, I think that Ocarina of Time actually was released on November 4th. So, that is something. Hey, Linkzilla. That's weird. If only I was born in November, that would be quite meta. Anyways, so I just wanted to give you like an update on everything that's going down. My life is currently in shambles. It's an absolute wreck, and I just basically don't really have the time to pursue all the things I want to do, so I'm going to have to manage my time a little bit better. So I hope that you guys will continue to bear with me and stay tuned as the videos are coming your way in the future. So, in the meantime, if you like this video, please leave a comment down in the comment section below. Please tell me what you think. I really want to get some decent feedback so I can improve my standing on certain things. And if you want to keep up to date with more content coming from Linkzilla in the future, then be sure to smash that subscribe button and ring that bell for notifications. As always, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Later!